Peace with you, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name's Trevor. Really glad to have you here. And so today I just wanted to go over my weekly rotation and what I wore this past week towards the end of November here in 2022. So just to get right into the list, Monday it was really nice and sunny, but very brisk, kind of like how it is looking today here where I'm at. You can see my breath. And the sun's starting to come out and the sky's looking really nice and blue, so it's really brisk but still sunny and nice autumn kind of fun time. So I went with 21st-27th. It's kind of got that festive sort of holiday vibe with some tobacco and honey, but there's a hay note in here that really just reminded me of like the bright blue sky, sort of plains, kind of like a bright sunny meadow here in the Midwest, just like an open field with some of the hay baskets lined up, and just that autumn kind of hue that the golden light is bringing forth on a sunny day here in the autumn. So Monday, about low 40s, sunny, 21st-27th. So then Tuesday, I went with Tuesday I went with Killian's Angel Share. So I think I got this in on, or I did a first impressions of this on Monday night, and decided, or maybe I did it Tuesday morning. So I got this in recently, and wanted to give it a full wearing right away because I was really excited to have it in. Definitely a little bit more gourmandish than I was expecting. It leans more into the sweet, spicy, vanillic, woodsy sort of oak barrel side of things, more so than the actual boozy accords in here. I thought this was going to be a lot more heavy on the boozy aspects, which is something I like to wear when it's really cold, but I think this is pretty nice for the autumn. I think it was a little bit too warm on Tuesday. It was about 50 degrees, high 50s. So this, I think, is going to be a really great scent for me to reach for on like a winter holiday. So that was Angel Share on Tuesday. Wednesday it was also really bright and sunny, kind of leaning more towards the high 50s. And so I went with a little bit of a fresher fragrance. This was Terre d'Hermès Eau de Toilette. So this is, pretty iconic fragrance. Just has a nice kind of like citrus woods that was something, I could reach for, that had like a brightness to it because of the orange, but then also some depth and kind of cozy aspects to it as well from the woods and like the vetiver in here. So that was Wednesday, kind of like, pretty warm autumn afternoon. Thursday was Thanksgiving, and it was the first kind of cold, or it wasn't that cold, it was still around like 60s, but it was wet and rainy. And so I went with this fragrance right here, Robert Graham's Valor. This is like a coffee and sage fragrance. Nice green, aromatic, sort of a gourmand barbershop kind of fragrance. So we decided to go with this one for Thanksgiving dinner because it's kind of like sweet and inviting and classy. It's a little bit more dressed up of a fragrance in my collection, so that's why I went with that one for getting together with family that day. And then so Friday was also probably the warmest day that we've had this week. It was like towards the 60s, and so I wanted to go with like the Terre d'Hermès DNA again because of like the bright citrus and the woody aspects to kind of accent the weather that was going on. But it was a little bit warmer than it was on Wednesday, so I went with Robert Talbot, their self-titled fragrance, Robert Talbot for Men. This is the same vein as Terre d'Hermès. It's got the same DNA. But this one is just like a little bit more fresh and leaning towards the summer, whereas this one is a little bit more spring and autumn. Really beautiful. I've gotten more compliments on this one than I have on Terre d'Hermes, and I think that this is a little bit easier for beginner noses to kind of wrap their senses around. So yeah, Friday, Robert Talbot's for men. This is a really nice little hidden gem. You can pick this up still for just under like $17 on Fragrance X. Okay, so Saturday it was about 50 degrees, still sunny. We've been having a pretty nice, enjoyable end of the November here. So I decided to bust out this fragrance right here. I was lucky enough to find it actually this October is when I bought it. Came up on Fragrance Net for $40, so I still was able to get it as a cheapie. I think it's getting harder and harder to find fragrances from this line, so it was nice to get it for like under $70, which is around what they're going for at discounters now. But that is Roberto Cavalli's Uomo Deep Desire. So the Deep Desire flanker, if you're not familiar with the Roberto Cavalli line, it's sort of like a sweet, velvety, violet centric line. This one doesn't actually have any violet in it. It's got tuberose, but it still has that sort of succulent, floral undertone with some sweetness added on the top. This one is sort of like cinnamon centric, so this reminds me a lot of Hane More's Hymn. Really enjoyable wear. I was getting some nice wafts out of the air on this one. The sort of scent profile and the presentation run together really well, and they were also just sort of mingling with the autumn colors that were going on in the area at the time. So this was a really nice, enjoyable Saturday afternoon when I was had the day off. Yeah, just made it a really pleasant weekend day for me. So then Sunday, I actually did a full review on this fragrance yesterday, which is when I was wearing this. Just a good old classic, a nice one to break out. It was quite a bit colder. It had dropped down into the 40s again, and it was cloudy, rainy, really wet all day yesterday, and just went for John Varvatos Vintage. Nice sort of green fir, barbershop, lavender, basil, but then also sweetened up with tobacco and cinnamon. Really nice, sort of rugged yet classy fragrance, and had to reapply this one a few times. Kind of only get around 3 hours longevity with this one. But yeah, just really enjoyable wearing this one around the house, and went to go visit my parents, and went out to eat, and saw my wife at the restaurant where she works at. Me and my daughter went to go see her and dine in at the restaurant. Was wearing this one. Nice kind of semi-formal fragrance to just go out for, a night like that. So yeah, that was Sunday, John Varvatos Vintage. So all in all, I'm looking at my bottles here. It's got a pretty nice sort of autumnal theme, or like the color scheme of the presentation on all these fragrances is really kind of nice and matching the time of year and the weather that we've got going on in the Midwest right now. It was really quite a pleasant week for me overall. Given it was like a holiday weekend more or less, with Thanksgiving being Thursday. So yeah, that was my weekly wares for the last week here of November. Let me know what your fragrances were this week. What did you wear on Thanksgiving, and did you get any good deals here on the Black Friday sales that were going on over the weekend? It's Cyber Monday today, so I don't really know of any deals per se that are worth checking out more so than usual. I think again I was getting a lot of really great prices at Aura Fragrance recently. That being said, tomorrow is my birthday, and I'm hoping to get a big haul video going on tomorrow. I've got a really huge end of the year sort of birthday present to myself with about like, I don't know, maybe 8 fragrances that are I wanted to kind of get to wear out through the winter and get some first impressions, and a lot of like high ticket popular winter designer fragrances. So hopefully I'll have that video posted tomorrow, and I'll look forward to seeing you then.